The narrative begins in the bustling agora of Athens, where merchants, scholars, and citizens debate various topics. Socrates, an elderly philosopher known for his probing questions and dialectical method, is seen wandering between groups of people, engaging them in philosophical discussions. His method often leaves participants questioning their own beliefs, a trait that earns him both followers and enemies. The scene shifts to a dimly lit room where Meletus, Anytus, and Lyco, three prominent Athenian citizens, are discussing their concerns about Socrates. They accuse him of corrupting the youth and introducing new deities, claiming these ideas threaten traditional values. The men plot to bring him to trial, leveraging their influence in the city. A messenger approaches Socrates in the agora, handing him a scroll of summons for trial. The philosopher reads the allegations with mild amusement, humored by the idea that his questions could shake the foundation of the city. He informs his friends and students and prepares for the legal proceedings. Clip 4. Gathering support prior to the trial, Socrates meets with his disciples Plato, Xenophon, and others to discuss the charges laid against him. They express their concerns, but Socrates reassures them, maintaining that truth and reason will prevail. Clip 5. Entering the courtroom on the day of the trial. The scene sets in the large, crowded courtroom. Athenians fill the space, eager to witness the proceedings of such a notorious figure. Socrates enters with a sense of calmness, his demeanor unwavering. Clip 6. The charges. The magistrate reads aloud the charges: impiety against the pantheon of Athens and corruption of the youth. Socrates listens intently, taking in the gravity of the accusation, yet remaining unfazed. Socrates begins his defense by questioning the concept of corruption and who possesses the moral authority to decide what is corrupt. He employs his dialectical technique to undermine the validity of the charges, questioning Meletus about the accusation's logic and coherence. Clip 8. Witness testimonies. Meletus calls various people who claim Socrates' ideas have led young men astray. The courtroom listens as these witnesses recount moments where Socrates challenged traditional Athenian beliefs. Clip 9. Socratic defense. Part 2. Socrates deconstructs the accusations, arguing that his intention was never to corrupt, but rather to encourage critical thinking and self-examination. He suggests that true wisdom lies in acknowledging one's ignorance. Clip 10. The gadfly analogy. In an attempt to explain his purpose, Socrates likens himself to a gadfly, pestering the large, noble steed of Athens to keep it awake and alert. He argues that his questioning and prodding are vital for the city's intellectual health. Clip 11. The philosophical stance. Socrates discusses his belief in following the divine sign and inner voices that guide him, asserting that his mission to seek truth might come from higher wisdom. Clip 12. The Delphic oracle. Socrates recounts the story of how the oracle at Delphi proclaimed him the wisest man. This paradox led him to question others, which ignited his quest for knowledge and understanding. Clip 13. The youth defended. Amongst the accusations, Socrates addresses the impact of his teachings on the youth, emphasizing the skills of dialogue and analysis that his pupils have gained, portraying them as citizens of more robust moral fiber. Clip 14. The cross-examination. The opposing counsel, with political motivations, interrogates Socrates, trying to catch him in contradictions. Yet, Socrates adeptly turns their own words against them, showcasing his skill in rhetoric. Clip 15. The public and political pressure. The jurors and audience are illustrated feeling the weight of political pressure. Citizens whisper among themselves, debating their views on Socrates' influence on Athenian democracy. Clip 16. The inevitability of condemnation. Despite the defense put forth, the public and political sentiment seems stacked against Socrates. In private discussions, the inevitability of condemnation becomes apparent. Clip 17. The votes are cast. The decision of the court looms as jurors cast their votes, while Socrates awaits the outcome with peace, understanding the full magnitude of what a guilty verdict would mean. Clip 18. The guilty verdict. The verdict is announced, declaring Socrates guilty. A mix of reactions fills the courtroom, with some regretful, while others see it as justice served. Clip 19. The sentencing proposal. Following the verdict, Socrates is asked to propose his own punishment. He suggests, with irony, that he deserves reward rather than punishment, proposing lifelong sustenance at the public's expense for his service. Clip 20. The sentence. The judges decide on a sentence of death by consuming poison. Socrates accepts the decision with serenity, reflecting on life, death, and virtue. Clip 21. Farewell to friends. In his final moments with his friends and students, Socrates continues to teach, imparting wisdom and courage, demonstrating his beliefs in the immortality of the soul. Clip 22. The drink. The scene depicts Socrates receiving the cup of hemlock. He takes it without hesitation, offering words of comfort to his grieving followers. Clip 23. Crito's plea. One of his close friends, Crito, begs Socrates to escape, presenting means and a plan, but Socrates refuses, adhering to his principles and respect for the law. Clip 24. Philosophical reflections. Socrates engages in a final philosophical discussion about the nature of life and death, viewing his execution as a passage to another stage of existence. Clip 25. The final moments as students gather around Socrates in his cell while he consumes the poison. As he lays down, he continues to discuss the soul's immortality, leaving a profound impact on those listening. Clip 26. The impact of Socratic death. After Socrates' passing, his death leaves a significant impact on Athens, stirring philosophical reflection, questioning moral values, and prompting debate on justice and intellectual freedom. Clip 27. Legacy of Socratic thought. The narrative presents how Socrates' ideas and methodology continue to influence future generations. His legacy lives on in the works of Plato, influencing Western philosophy. Clip 28. Athenian regret. Public sentiment shifts over time, with many Athenians regretting the execution. The state honors Socrates posthumously, acknowledging the loss of a great thinker.